Well, of course, I wouldn't say that word normally. It was just that one time. And we're live.
You are now listening to Radio Rufus.
Hello, listeners. It's Rufus Rice here, and this is Radio Rufus. Every week, we bring you the gnarliest, nichest, most need-to-know news, sports, weather. We play games deliberately unsuitable for audio formats. I showcase one of my vaguely controversial parody songs, and we'll even bring you a breaking story or two. However, the scoops might not be quite as fresh as you'd imagine, because this show is set in the 1960s. We're throwing it back to the glory days of long lunches, indoor smoking, and infidelity in our beautiful vintage studio, and we've got the sharp sartorial style to match. As always, I'm joined by my unvarnished producer, Aidan. Say hello, Aidan.
Hello.
There we go. Coming up on today's show, a man receives a box of penises in the mail, someone scrans an onion, and the World Gravy Wrestling Championships. Let's get into it then with our first segment, Not News. These are the stories that hit the headlines this week. A man has received a box of knobs in the mail after offering a penis amnesty to local residents. A reality television star has been hospitalised after eating too many beans to sell farts. The UK Home Office is paying TikTok influencers to urge migrants to not cross the English Channel. And a woman in Wigan is reportedly disgusted after catching the police watching Netflix in her home. Our first story then, British artist Dale Wells from Grimsby, unfortunate for him, has put out an appeal for the safe return of several schlongs that have been snapped off of the front of a statue in town. So what's been happening? People have been getting pissed, and for a laugh, they've been nicking the knob off of this statue in the middle of Grimsby. First erected in 1973. It's been the victim of a knob chop 4 or 5 times. So that's too many amateur circumcisions for one statue, in my opinion. Each time, though, it has been replaced. Very generous. Tired of this, Dale Wells has offered mercy for the safe return of the purloined penises, and this week a box has turned up with no less than 6 shafts.
6?
And a note that says, pick these up after cleaning Grandad's house. I think they're what you're looking for. Interesting one there, because they're not what he's looking for.
Yeah.
Those penises are made of the wrong material. The statue is made of fiberglass, and those knobs are clay-based. So it really does beg the question. Firstly, where are all the knobs?
Yeah.
Because there's got to be someone out there.
Someone has what he's looking for.
Who's a serial shaft snapper and has just been Dick Rippington on that statue.
A prick pocket.
A prick pocket. Lovely stuff. That is beautiful. That is just beautiful comedy there.
You know what I love? The fact that 6 have been returned to him.
Yeah.
And it's still not the right one. Like, how often are cocks going missing in this town?
See, this brings me to my big question is, what was Grandad up to?
Yeah, is he taking these clay penises up the ass, is what I want to know. Yeah,
that was my thought, maybe, because obviously he was an older gentleman, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But, you know, in his lifetime, might have been looked a bit
Oh, is he
down.
dead?
Yes.
Oh, fuck, I didn't read that part.
I think he sadly passed away, right. And after cleaning out his house, they found these in a biscuit tin. I think back in the day, it was sort of looked down upon to have things in your ass and whatever it is as a man.
Yeah.
So maybe it was sort of a secretive thing. He'd lie to Granny.
That's not something you want your missus knowing in the fucking 60s.
Yeah. So maybe telling Granny a few porky pies, but slipping upstairs, opening the Quality Street tin.
The fucking family circle box full of dicks.
Yes, for my amateur proctology kit.
The one thing though is, I can't imagine clay would feel good. Like, all the ones you see are like silicone based.
Right. Let's be honest. Have you seen those like pottery videos?
Yeah.
Online of people making stuff.
Very seductive.
Right. And before it's a bowl, it's a big clay schlong. Like, let's be totally honest.
And then a bit of this, and then it's a fucking...
And it's pretty moist as well.
True.
It is sort of a simulated hand job in the pottery clinic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And don't tell me like that wouldn't be a comfortable thing to sit on.
If you got it in between the like drying process before it was properly solidified, there might be like a medium ground where it is sort of... That's
the problem. That's Grandad's problem here, because these are basically fossils at this point. They've been in that tin for years and years.
I wonder, was it in his will? Like, if they,
who's he left them to?
There's going to be a fucking row whenever they come home and find out.
James Charles.
James
Charles turns up to pick up Granddad's dicks.
See, to be fair, like, initially whenever I read this, I was like, right, weird way to spend your free time as a granda, but at the same time, all my granda really does is complain about, like, asylum seekers and watch Antiques Roadshow. So if this is how he wants to get his evenings in, fair enough.
I hate Antiques Roadshow. I think this would be much more fun.
Do you mean the hunting for the dicks or the sitting on the dicks?
Both. A bit of both, really. I'd rather do either of those than watch Antiques Roadshow. It's so fucking boring.
Yeah, I'd rather do both of them than watch it with my granda, especially with his fucking running commentary.
Yeah, so it's an interesting, because if you have a certain image of your granddad your whole life,
yeah,
and then suddenly if you realise he's hiding away a box of dicks in the attic, I feel like your perception of him changes.
It does
very quickly.
But at the same time, I think I would rather have my granda be like collecting dicks than like stamps. There's a bit more character to that. It's a bit more rogue.
He is an individual.
Yeah.
He's very much a party of one, isn't he?
100%, yeah.
Or is he? Maybe there's loads of grandpas.
There was 6. Maybe there's a group of 6 grandas in this local area that are
It's
just...
like the book club. They go around and just pop them in on Tuesdays, I guess. Or whatever, yeah.
First of all, it's fucking, we're 3 minutes in, but the fact that there's this many clay statues in this town, like, it's not something you see on every street corner as a clay statue with a cock. So I don't know where they're finding them.
Yeah. Just to clarify, the statue is made of fiberglass, and the penises are clay, and they're not from the statue.
Right, okay, that's where we missed out then.
Yeah, so he has other penises. The penises relevant to the statue are still at large. And I think maybe we should go and find them.
Whereabouts is this?
Grimsby?
Is that far from here?
Yeah, it's fucking miles.
Still, it's worth it.
I think it's sort of worth it as well. Imagine finding one. That would be like finding
diamonds. Yeah, well,
it would be a huge career boost.
It would be.
Imagine if we found the Grimsby dicks, but imagine from the perspective of the artist, because he turns up and one day in his mailbox there is just a box of random dicks, and he's asking for it. He offered this. He said, "Send in your penises.
Yeah,
we want them back." So it is his fault.
It is. He got what was coming to him. Like,
I don't know. I wouldn't want to receive that in the mail.
I wouldn't want to guess what the smell was that hit him as he opened that box.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing to get in the mail. Like, a bomb is first, definitely. Yeah. But this is a close second place.
I feel like if it was a box full of 6 actual, like, severed dicks, like, you ever seen Seven?
Yeah, but it's just
recreated.
But it's just like knobs. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a close second. I wouldn't want to be like receiving that from Royal Mail.
Right, now from dicks onto farts, so it's really a highbrow, classy entertainment show. A reality television star has been hospitalised after eating too many beans to sell farts. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ.
This is just the beginning of a slow downward spiral for humanity, really. 90 Day Fiancé star Stephanie Matto sold jarred guffs for $1,000 a pop and made over $200,000 in 2 months.
Holy
That's $100,000 a month. That is like Premier League money.
That is
like,
unreal.
Genuinely.
There's a lot of players in the Premier League not getting that.
Yeah. That is like very, very good. That's like a good Premier League player.
But at the same time, how much was she charging for a jar? Was it $2,000 a jar?
$1,000 a jar.
The people that are buying these are the fucking Premier League players on that money. Your average man isn't affording a jar full of farts.
Yeah, is how I think. Do you think like Lukaku's just popped in an order?
Lukaku has a shelf full
of jarred honks. Yeah. So in order to produce sufficient gas, she lived on a subsistence diet of beans, eggs, and protein shakes. After months of this diet, she was lying in bed and felt an extreme pressure on her stomach. She thought she was having a heart attack. Fair assumption.
Yeah.
And called a friend to drive her to the hospital, where it was found she was not having a heart attack, but it was an extreme backup of bodily gas. And it took her months and months of recovery because she'd eaten herself into such a state. She had to be on quite severe medical quite severe like medical restrictions in order to become a normal person again. And she's also now pivoted, cleverly, quite think, recognizing the physical effects that eating only baked beans and farting in a jar all day can have on the human body. She's pivoted into NFTs, but still fart jar themed.
What the fuck?
Can you quickly Google that while I give Stephanie some consumer advice here? Stephanie, if you're listening, I have a few questions for you. Firstly, why would you even bother to fart in the jar?
Yeah, like
surely the smell is going to dissipate.
You would imagine so.
Before it gets to the gremlin who's bought it.
My question as well was, she done this to the point where she hospitalized herself. It's just a poor business model. Like, surely you outsource.
You've got to take care of the people.
Yeah, but like you outsource that to your average man after like 3 pints of Guinness. She's gonna have backstock to last her weeks, and she's.
That's true. Well, firstly, why would you even bother to fart in it? Because I'm sure there's no way that the fart. No way. It's a real website, fartjarsnft.com, not a sponsor, but you can go over there. This is what we're talking about. Why would you even bother to fart in it in the first place? And secondly, if you do have some sort of business ethics about it, you could get someone else.
Outsource it. The fuck.
You could get do what they do with the call centers and just get a factory in India and get them all to do it.
If it means you don't end up farting yourself into a coma over paying like a freelancer, fucking freelance. Imagine putting that job advertisement on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I guess you do have to sort of congratulate her on actually going through with it. Because obviously, because I was thinking about my potential business of selling my bath water. I was going to brand it as from the folds of my scrotum.
You would have people queuing up for that.
But I was just going to sell water. I wasn't going to...
Yeah.
I was literally going to sell bottles of water.
You don't need to...
I was basically just going to buy like Buxton and change the label.
Yeah, nobody would know.
Exactly.
And it's the same for the farts. So I get your question, like why was she even farting in it?
What is the point of doing this?
Do you think her previous like clientele that are obviously now out of a fart dealer after she's been hospitalized, do you reckon they're going to like knock the habit, or they're going to try and find another fart dealer?
I think like once you get addicted to one, you can't sort of switch.
You start to like that flavor. You don't want to.
It's a habit forming thing. Yeah. It's like loving Diet Coke and then having a Coke Zero.
Such a comparison, but it's absolutely spot on.
It's similar. The format is sort of the same. The taste is roughly it's roughly right, but it just doesn't quite hit the spot in the same way.
Yeah,
and you could easily tell the difference.
They want like that authentic fucking, what's this woman, Stephanie? They want her home.
Yeah, they don't want like an own brand.
Nah,
they want artisan craft farts. Yeah, so that is this is so disgusting. But also, I do want to pull her up on the maths a little bit here.
Yeah.
So she's selling them for $1,000 a go, which, by the way, is a fucking ludicrous price.
Yeah, it is.
£10
max. I'm not spending a penny more.
Tenner? Yeah. I think you'd have to pay me $1,000 for that to get one, because I don't want that in my house. I'd be scared of breaking it.
Just completely poisoning the room. What would be the price if one of your fans was to DM you right now and just be like, Rufus, look, I'm really badly stuck and I would love a jar of your farts. How much would they have to pay to get that sent across first class?
Can you put a price on dignity? I don't know.
These fuckers definitely can't.
Thing is, what I would do, because I have very loose morals, is I would buy a jar and just send that to them.
Yeah, they wouldn't know any different.
Yeah. And then you're like, well, there it is. What are you going to do? Can you bring the receipt?
You know, like the way certain things that are sold for big money have to be like authenticated.
Yes.
I reckon there's fart jar authenticators out there.
Like those like this is definitely maybe on Antiques Roadshow. We can have the people lining up with their fart jars, and then like the experts can come in, have a whiff, and tell you who it's from.
You need to pitch them that segment, because that would up their ratings.
Yeah. So that's a Rufus Rice after 17 pints and a night out in Prism Kingston. That's absolutely vintage, that one. That's a good year. Good year for them. Yeah. Then there's Fiona Bruce in the background going, that's class. Absolutely brilliant. Sorry, that's a fake. Rufus Rice would never produce something of that caliber. So a lot of problems about this. I'm also just going to pull her up on the maths as well. $1,000 ago, and she made over $200,000. So some simple maths here. She's sort of in the region of 200 to 300 jars.
Yeah.
In 2 months. I'm gonna level to you. That's not that many farts. I don't think you need to eat exclusively beans, eggs, and protein shakes to fart 200 times in 2 months.
Not at all. That is fucking excessive. That is.
I can rip 50
easy.
in one hungover day.
Yeah. All you have to do is go on a night out.
I'd only have to work once a fortnight. Yeah.
Yeah, she sort of, as much as...
What's wrong? She's in the wrong business, mate. She doesn't have the natural talent to make it in this industry.
Not at all. And this is what it looks like, which I don't really get. I don't even know what a fucking NFT is, to be honest with you.
An NFT is a picture of... Well, this is a picture of a fart jar.
Right, so people are... They're not even getting
so they're 0.05 Ethereum. Can you just quickly put Ethereum to pounds so I know how much that is?
Yep.
Because I'm looking to invest, really, not so I can have it as a an investment property.
I don't know what that means.
Going up. So 0.05, so it's 5% of 2.5k. So that is, do a bit of quick maths. 129 quid. That's not bad, you know. Prices have come down from the report.
Yeah, but you're not getting the smell. That's what these fucking degenerates were there for.
Yeah, that's true. I just get the feeling that I own it, though.
Yeah, true.
I think you might have to be more of a pervert deviant to buy the NFT than the actual jar.
Yeah. I didn't think you could get more into the depths of depravity than being one of these pricks buying an actual fart jar, but an NFT of it is arguably worse.
The funny thing is aren't they all the same as well? Like,
yeah, surely.
Surely, like, the fart jar, the smell goes after a while.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. Lots of questions still surrounding that one. We'll bring you any updates as they arrive. Now, the UK Home Office is paying TikTok influencers to urge migrants, to cross the English Channel. This is an absolutely mental brand deal. From Sky News, where the Home Office has expanded their campaign to attempt to deter illegal migration by paying foreign TikTokers. The campaign has been active in Albania, France, and Belgium, but has now been expanded to Iraq, Egypt, and Vietnam. And the campaign has a total budget that's been signed off, and this is genuinely in the national budget, £576,500, capped at 5k per influencer. According to the Home Office, all the work they have done is reduce crossings by 36%. I think approximately 0% of that 36% is from this campaign. But nonetheless, let's talk about it. This is the most insane brand. Imagine getting an email from the Home Office and being like, sorry, mate, we've got too many foreigners over here. Can you post a quick tickers for us and stop them coming?
Yeah, that is crazy. Like,
how is this work? How is that going to work?
Do they just have like, fuck, there's going to be an outdated reference, but I have not watched TikTok properly. Like Charlie D'Amelio doing like the fucking renegade at the border. That would deter me from entering the country, to be fair. Like,
sort of, go home. Like, you're not welcome here.
This needs to be you need to get on this trend.
Yeah. We won't give you... I don't know a single TikTok move.
Yeah, me neither. Like, that fucking reference I was made is probably about 6 years old, but...
It's sort of like... I'll try and dance now. It's sort of like, we won't give you asylum. Don't come to our country. We won't give you asylum. Don't come to Britain. Sort of something like that.
They would up the budget a lot if you were to send them that.
I'm happy to do it for 5,000 actually. So James Cleverly, who's the Home Secretary, if you're watching this, reach out. I'll actually do it for less.
Yeah,
I'll do it for $3,000, I think.
If you offered me $5,000 for this, I would stand at the border and do a TikTok live, batting them away myself. I would do a fucking night shift there.
Yeah, $576,000 is a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. And it's our money as well. That's taxpayer money.
Yeah.
I would imagine what else you could get for $576,000.
True.
It's such a waste. I mean, like, influencer marketing in general, you know.
Is it all the people like coming over on the rubber boats and shit? Is that what?
Yes, those people. Yeah, literally people in dinghies crossing the channel.
You know what?
I feel like they don't watch a lot of TikTok.
Yeah. They're not going to see it. If they're badly stuck to the point where they're taking a fucking rubber dinghy across the ocean, they're probably not going to 4G. If they're already making that journey,
if you've already travelled from war-torn Syria to France, you're not going to turn back. You're not going to be scrolling on the For You page and someone goes, "Oh, nah, actually, UK's a bit shit, to be honest." And then you'd be like, "Oh, yeah, actually, he's right, let's go back to Damascus." You wouldn't do that.
Nah, not at all.
This isn't going to work.
You have to sort of commend the material quality of these dinghies as well, taking them on those journeys.
Yeah, incredible build quality.
It really is. I'd love to see the Amazon reviews of some fucker being 10 out of 10, fleed Ukraine on this bad boy.
So if you're a migrant and you've seen those TikToks, let us know how you feel. You can email us. I believe our email is calfreezy@thefellow-studios.
Something like that.
Something like that. I believe is the official email for this podcast. So you can just send all your comments there. Our next story then. A woman in Wigan is reportedly disgusted after catching the police watching Netflix in her home. Following a mental health crisis, police were called to the home of Abby Layton in Wigan after concerns were raised about her welfare. She was out at the time, so police waited for her return. She was alerted to the officers moving around inside her home by a CCTV phone app and viewed as the two men watched her telly and lifted her gym weights. The Greater Manchester Police Professional Standards Body called the procedure a, quote, standard response, but said the men should have refrained from using her stuff while she was out. It's an interesting one, this, because obviously they've been dispatched. They have to wait for her to come back. That's what they've got to do. And this isn't a bad of a use of police time as the story we covered last week where they were deployed to handcuff a wizard. So I guess that's sort of an improvement.
It is
there. But yeah, I know this is bad, but they were there waiting there for say 3-4 hours, right? If I'm a police officer, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
If I'm having to wait at your home for 45 hours, I'm gonna watch your TV.
Yeah, you're gonna make yourself comfortable.
I'm taking my shoes off.
Yeah, I'm taking my trousers off. I am posting up. I'm fucking sticking on a frozen pizza, getting in my boxers and just enjoying it.
Yeah, I might be rummaging through your kitchen as
100%.
well.
She's acting as if they've broke in. They're literally just there to ensure she hasn't killed herself, and she's throwing a fucking fit because they lifted a dumbbell.
Getting a quick pump in as well.
Yeah,
we should be promoting healthy behaviours like that.
To have the motivation to do a workout whilst you're already at work is commendable. They're in the middle of a shift and they're still getting a fucking...
Yeah, I think these guys should be commended, really.
They should be getting their badges, not fucking...
They've been absolutely slated by this girl. And I understand. It's not great, having people rooting around in your home, but they're there to help you.
Yeah. Did they get suspended or anything?
No, they didn't get suspended, but they did get, just a reprimand, which I don't feel that was necessary at all.
Not at all.
If I was those policemen and I had another call out similar to this, I'd probably do the same thing again. I'm totally honest.
Yeah, if I was the fucking victim, which she just isn't. She was literally they were there for her. But if I was that person, and I came in and they're watching something shit, I'd maybe be a bit fucked off. But I came in and there's a couple of police officers watching Goodfellas or something. FIFA. I'm sitting down beside them. Yeah. And I'm happy for the company.
Well, if I did walk in and first I shit myself that I'd been convicted on tax fraud charges or something, and then when I realised they were there to help me, it would have been super chill, I reckon.
Yeah. The chances of that, though, the police just sneak attacking someone, especially in fucking England these days, and the chances of them just convicting themselves as they see them. Yeah. Oh, I thought she was 12 or whatever. You always see those videos where that happens. I'm surprised something like that hasn't happened at this stage.
But yeah, look, I can understand she'd be a bit pissed off. But honestly, if you are those police officers, you did nothing wrong.
Nah.
I stand by you. And if you'd like to come round and watch Netflix on my TV, feel free. I don't have any weights, but we can do some press-ups or something.
Yeah, a few sit-ups maybe.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Now on to Snatch of the Day. This is our sports segment where every week we cover only the most important sporting events of the largest stages in the world. So today, of course, we're talking about the World Gravy Wrestling Championships because the 2024 competition has just been announced. I have to say I absolutely loved 2023. I thought in the echelon of great sports matches, you got, the Qatar World Cup final, one of the greats, handing the torch over. You've got England winning the Rugby World Cup, the 2005 Ashes, and the 2023 Gravy Wrestling World Championships. An incredible match. I believe we actually have some footage.
We do, and we're going to live react to it. So if you want to stick your headphones on.
Absolutely. I haven't seen this, and you haven't either.
No.
So here we go then. That was quite a brutal move there.
Jesus Christ. She's had enough gravy.
Yeah.
You can't even get into the fucking thing. Did you ever watch WWE when you were younger?
No, I didn't, but I can see the appeal.
It looks like whenever me and my brothers watched it, they went out and tried the moves in the trampoline.
That is actually John Cena, isn't it? That blonde girl.
Is. Each person there looks built for it. Like they look like they have trained their whole lives to get where they're currently at.
They look like they regularly do this.
Genuinely, though, I was saying before, it draws a crowd. Like, it's good for the community.
There's actually quite a lot of flesh on display, and yet I've never been less aroused in my entire life. The thing that surprises me the most is that this isn't American.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, we're watching the Champions League right now.
This is the
and the crowd are absolutely loving it. I understand that the matches are 2 minutes long.
Yeah. It's a long time to be gravy wrestling. Like
2 minutes is like a normal round in boxing.
It is.
And this is way more tiring than that. In boxing, they're just sort of tiptoeing around, but this is full on like suplexes, arm bars, and you're consuming a lot of pretty warm.
There's a lot of gravy,
lukewarm gravy
in every orifice. Like you're getting it in your fucking ears, your nostrils. That prick in like the speedo number. I don't know where he's getting it, but it would be. You spend most of your time trying to get back up, so you would be knackered after 2 minutes of this.
I actually have some personal experience of a sport similar to this because where I went to school in Indonesia, and people call me out for lying on podcasts all the time. Mm-hmm. We used to do mud wrestling on Friday mornings.
Every Friday?
Yeah, regularly. It's called Mapansagan. It's actually a local Indonesian art form that incorporates elements of dance, drama, and wrestling.
I have no idea the accuracy of this. Like, you could be feeding me full of the biggest pile of shit, and I'm sort of still tempted to believe it, but...
And that was in mud, right?
Yeah.
And that was not nice. It was mud with, like, chunks of rock in it. You get one of those in the eyeball, and then suddenly it's like you're just Stevie Wonder for the rest of the day. You're just totally blind, and you can never get it out. And like obviously it gets all in your hair and stuff, and it gets really sticky and disgusting. And I can only imagine this is worse.
Were you competitive in this sport? Like, were you good at it?
I was pretty shit. Let's just say I switched to football quite quickly.
Yeah, as you would. Not many. The locals were suspiciously good at it. It's almost like they've been doing it their whole lives. Anyway, now on to Drizzle Kicks, our weather report, and bad news for all my Chileans out there. So, sorry, Chileans, as your country has been ravaged by wildfires over the past week, of course. 162 fires have been identified, affecting 43,000 hectares of land, which, if you're an American, is about the size of a Walmart, I believe. 14,000 buildings destroyed, 130 deaths, and the damage is estimated at 50 pesos. 50 pesos. I would do a lot of fucking fiction for them.
Yeah. The government has called a 2-day national period of mourning, actually. It's been such a disaster, which seems like the worst thing you could do in this situation. Surely the firefighters can't be out there spraying water on it if they're busy mourning, I would have thought.
Yeah, they're just letting the wildfire spray so they can say a few prayers. It doesn't make any sense.
That seems like terrible policy. But yeah, it's been bad. It's another sign of the horrendous crawl of global warming, which is completely unstoppable and will fry the planet and eventually lead to the extinction of the human race. I'm just glad it's not happening to me. Yeah. If I'm totally honest.
Like, this studio is warm. The AC's not working that great, but it's not the same heat as a fucking Chilean wildfire. So
no, actually, that would be suboptimal.
Yeah.
So if you're a Chilean out there and you're listening in, hope you're not too hot. And in the words of Billy Joel, we didn't start the fire, did we?
No, it wasn't us.
Wasn't us. We're busy.
We're just clearing our names here. It wasn't.
I don't have time to go to Chile and start a fire and come home. And in the words of Rufus Rice, I'm glad I don't live in Chile. Not just about this, just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wildfires don't help, but generally speaking,
Generally, I wouldn't want to live in
I'll
Chile.
stick here.
Yeah. On to Canada then, and it's a wildfire special this week because we've got some wildfire news in from the Canadian wilderness. A man who claimed forest fires were the result of a grand governmental conspiracy has pleaded guilty to lighting more than a dozen blazes, which is irony in the extreme. It's almost as ironic as Chile being called that, isn't it? Quebec resident Brian Paré forced the evacuation of 500 homes, lighting 14 fires. The largest fire he lit toasted 873 hectares of forest, which is about the same size as a big Tesco.
A big Tesco, yeah.
Yeah.
How many
Not quite
hectares
as
is
big
in
as a Walmart.
Express, do you reckon?
Sorry?
How many hectares is in a Tesco Express?
What's it like? 4?
4 hectares. That sounds about right, yeah.
Well, no, a hectare is like way bigger than that, but I wanted to joke. I wanted to make a joke that it was like really big, although I doubt those Tesco Expresses are even an acre.
Yeah, true.
And there's 4 acres to a hectare.
Yeah, you've got me there. Like,
although, like, I don't really know how big an acre is, and I don't think anyone does.
I'll be honest with you as well. I haven't a fucking clue what a hectare is.
And you live in the countryside.
Yeah, up until today, I just thought it was a Mexican name. And it's like a unit of measurement.
Yeah.
I know.
So 873 hectares have been burnt in Mexico. So he was arrested by the Rozzers, of course, after they basically tracked him down to some suspicious locations and asked him what he was doing. And he claimed he was testing whether the forest was dry or not, which is one of the most tenuous excuses.
That is awful.
It is sort of dog ate my homework level of excuse there.
I don't know how he thought that was ever going to fly.
They didn't take it as fact, let's just say that. And he's now facing charges and multiple years of jail time, which is probably good. I mean, I've been to Canada. Mm-hmm. There are so many trees. So, like, 873 hectares sounds like a lot. Compared to all of Canada, it's not that big.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be honest. There's loads of trees. So, can we laugh it off?
I'd be happy to.
You'll laugh it off?
Yeah.
It's good you're not running the Quebec Police. And in other news, in Greenland, it's fucking freezing. Anyway, moving on to our new segment, Questionable. Because I've been inspired by the Quebec fire lighter, Brian Paré, the incinerator himself.
The incinerator.
And I asked our audience, what's the worst excuse you've ever cooked up and what was it for? Can we get an excuse worse than testing whether the forest was dry? As usual, my audience are not very good at audience participation because most of them are trying to be funny. Like last week when we had someone's girlfriend join the Taliban. But here's what I've had sent in. Number 1, the missus caught me on Pornhub and managed to play it off by saying the new Avengers film got leaked on there.
That's fucking genius. They're leaking shit in Pornhub all the time. Add that to my list.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
But what I'm questioning here is it a problem? I don't have a girlfriend, so I don't know. But is it a problem if the missus catches you on Pornhub?
I don't know.
In your relationship, we don't have to get too in depth if you don't want to. But if you were, let's say, caught watching some explicit content, what would be the situation?
I think she'd be more annoyed if me at 24 was literally just watching the Avengers.
You'd have to lie the other way around.
Yeah, I'd be like, no, it's porn.
No, I'm not on Disney Plus. I promise you, I'm not on Disney Plus. It's porn.
BDSM.
It's porn. Yeah. Yeah, but that's a genius excuse. Yeah. We should get this guy to write the scripts because clearly he's a sharp tool. Next up, the excuse in question. I've just shat myself. That's the excuse. That's not the reason. That's the excuse. The reason I didn't want to go out shopping with mates, then I shat myself for dramatic effect.
So he just shit himself to get out of going to fucking Tesco?
That's no longer an excuse. Well, I guess it is an excuse, but now it's not a it's not a lie.
Yeah.
It's a bit different from a
you
regular
just
excuse.
shat yourself and you're confessing to it live on air.
Yeah. It's good these are anonymous.
Yeah. But like what I don't get is if you knew your friend was the type of person that was, known to do things like this,
Yeah.
I wouldn't let them win. I'd just be like, right, well, we can wait 5 minutes, clean yourself up. Like, they're not going to shit themselves in the middle of the Tesco.
You're not going to do it again. How much shit can one man hold?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so casually written here.
Yeah.
I've written it. That's exactly how it was written. Then I shat myself for dramatic effect. That's the whole sentence. It's like he does this all the time.
Did he take himself off and do it, or did he just do it in the middle of the room with his friends watching?
I suspect he hadn't met up with the mates yet, and he was still at home. Which means there's even less reason to do this.
He really needs to learn about lying. Because first of all, you shouldn't be fucking telling us this. Second of all, just say you're sick. Say you're grabbing a shower, you can't go now. Say you've got something on, something came up.
Even I've just shat myself and then not actually shitting yourself would be preferable to this.
You don't have to follow through with it.
Yeah, it's already the worst excuse, and yet you went through with it.
Yeah.
That is
going to come around and like inspect it.
Absolute insanity. Next up, I said to a girl, I need to leave because I left my window open and I forgot I have an uncaged parrot.
It's so specific that you actually wouldn't question it. You'd be like, oh fuck, go get Tweety.
He's got like a wild bird just like flying about the place.
Especially uncaged, like just letting it roam free.
And the reason that he said this excuse is he'd actually just shat himself. Not deliberately this time, I assume.
Full circle.
Yeah. So it's got a pleasing circularity to it, doesn't it? So waiting what goes around comes around.
Yeah, that's poetic almost.
Next up, I had to tell my nan that my granddad's ashes must have blown away in the wind when me and my mates mistakenly sniffed them while drunk. Sorry, Nan.
Fuck me.
There's no way this is just someone trying to be funny. I don't believe that for a second. There's no way you're opening up the jar on the mantelpiece and doing a line.
Also, it's not even the same shade.
Yeah. Wrong colour. And also, there's loads of ashes.
Yeah, you'd be fucked.
Yeah. Imagine how much ash you'd have to snort, like cocaine equivalent.
Although it depends of what his granddad's habits were. If he was fucking full of some sort of substance at his death, I don't know whether it translates to his ashes, but
I'm not a scientist.
I still don't imagine you're getting high off your granddad's fucking ashes.
Next one, and this one I find pretty ridiculous. I mean, as you know, I do enjoy a good Cuban death stick, one of Havana's finest. But so does this guy, because he says, my room smelt of cigars and my mum questioned me about it. I said, I lost a competition at school where I couldn't identify the type of cigar someone was smoking, which has made it so much worse because now it sounds like I'm a competitive smoker. I just want to be honest here. Who's smoking cigars at school?
That's true, yeah.
What kind of like weird Dickensian gentleman, like 17 going on 70, smokes cigars at school? What is just smoke fags like everybody else?
You would understand like a pack of Rollies or something.
Yeah.
A fucking Cuban cigar in the playground. Like, you deserve all you get for that.
Mate, be careful. You got to just taste it. Don't breathe it in. Just passing it around the playground. You just hit. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
If anyone brought a cigar into my school, they would have got bullied out of it.
Yeah, exactly. This is like walking into school wearing a top hat.
Really.
What's wrong with you?
I imagine this prick's walking around the playground with like a pimp cane and everything.
I feel good that your mum hates you now. Next up, I had a job interview once, but I couldn't get the time off of work to attend, so I said my grandma had a stroke. I think that's fairly standard.
Yeah.
I've never used that, but I've considered it. I've thought about the ill nan sort of situation.
It's a good card to pull if you're suck.
Yeah. Didn't end up getting the job. Shame. And my grandma died 3 weeks later. Had to go to work the day she died. That is just beautiful irony.
It really is. Karma is kicking your ass.
That is like taking a shit and wiping it to clean first time. That is just the elements of the universe are just totally in harmony there. That is karma working to perfection.
It really is.
Beautiful stuff. I once told my mum halfway through her making my spaghetti bolognese that I'm refusing to eat anything Italian because of the Euros final. This continued until she ordered me a chippy. I don't know how much of a diabolical cook your mum is, but spaghetti bolognese is way better than a chippy.
100% all day long.
Isn't it?
I don't care. Like, I'm from fucking Ireland. We haven't got the final to be beaten.
See, here's the thing. I think you're a bit biased because you eat mainly chips.
Yeah, and I hate the English.
And you hate the English.
It sort of works in my favour.
But why are you trying to get out of eating spaghetti bolognese?
I love spag bol.
What's wrong with your mum's cooking?
Yeah. There was only ever one time in my life I have turned my nose up at like my mum's cooking, and I don't know what it was. She brought some like cheap spaghetti, like pasta sauce, and she tried to make spaghetti bolognese.
She tried to convince you that it was spaghetti.
But she's a great cook. She cooked this one time, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
And she was trying to pan off the dinner to one of my younger brothers, because obviously if you play up to it and be like, "This stinks," they'll come in and then be like, "This stinks." But she said nothing about it, put it in front of my 6-year-old brother. He took one bite out of it and was like, "What the fuck is this?"
And she never did it again.
Yeah, she learned from those lessons. Like,
yeah, so from my childhood spent sort of in the diarrhea belt, which sort of extends from Southeast Asia through to the subcontinent, etc., which generally you have a lot of foods that the Western stomach can't handle, and you get ill quite a lot. Having some spaghetti bologneses out there was pretty interesting.
ooh.
I had one very memorable one on the island of Gili Meno in the Indonesian archipelago, which I'm almost certain was fish bolognese.
Fair chance of that.
And if you're trying to pass that off as like a frutti di mare seafood pasta, it was not like that. Imagine sort of tinned tuna in a ragu.
That sounds rank, Rufus.
But made up to be beef.
Yeah.
Like a beefy tuna.
That sounds absolutely vile.
Year 6 was rough.
How was your stomach after that?
I think my stomach was okay. I was just emotionally destroyed. And my willpower had been broken by that because it was so rank. Although I ate it because we were on an island in the middle of nowhere, and there aren't really any options.
Yeah, it was that or
and I was quite a picky kid, and I'm not like tucking into tofu curry.
You're not hunting your own dinner in year 6. Like.
Exactly. Next up, told a girl I was a Muslim and my parents were making me have an arranged marriage, so I couldn't take her out for another date. I was 14. I sort of respect this one as well.
Some of these are absolutely genius.
That's up there with the Avengers for me for best excuse. It also says I'm white.
That has a lot
obviously.
Of
Yeah, this might work if you actually were Muslim.
A lot of people are converting these days, so like
it said he was a Roman Catholic. He's probably from like round near you. There's lots of Catholics in Ireland.
Fucking plenty of them.
Yeah.
But not too many.
That's a hilarious one though, and I have to say I respect it and I might use it in the future. I said I was making videos for my media class portfolio, but it was actually thirst trap style compilation videos of my best mate's sister's Instagram. Both his dad and sister later found out. What are you doing? What's wrong? You sick fuck.
How far do you have to go to wind up your friend? Like,
I don't even think it just seems creepy at this point.
It is.
Like, saying your mate's sister's fit is a hallmark, a cornerstone, if you will, of traditional banter. It's up there with your mum's fat, isn't it? Like, I had to run a 5K to your sister's house because she's so fit. But I had to, it was 5K, so it was 2 laps around your mum. That's like a little double whammy there. You know, classic bit of banter.
2 in 1.
Once like CapCut and the editing software comes out, once Adobe Premiere Pro gets booted up on the MacBook, you're taking things too far.
Yeah.
You know, this guy's like waxed the filters and the lens flare and the edit music on it as well. There's just something wrong with you, I think.
100%. Even having that kind of access and downloading everything, having it on your desktop, it's all right taking a look. But once you've actually exported this shit and brought it into a timeline,
downloading things off Instagram is like the ultimate pedo move.
It really is.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like stories and stuff. They're intended for 24 hours. Just fucking definitely screenshot.
You know, like the story highlights and then screenshot and crop out the...
Yeah. He's got a back catalogue of shit.
I had he wasn't a mate. A school friend. Not a friend. A guy at my school who had a hard drive that was only cropped toes from Instagram.
That is
hundreds of photos. So if you went to school with me and you're a girl, sorry for that. Hope you don't feel too violated. It was in the past.
Have you ever seen these photos, or did you just hear about it?
No, I know of the existence of the hard drive, but I didn't really associate with this guy. And if you did go to school with me, send me a DM and I'll tell you who it is.
We'll put it on screen right now.
only had £10, but the train cost £8 to get to my girlfriend's. Right? So he could afford the train.
Yes.
Yeah. I said I've got the shits so I could stay home and gamble. I lost it. But this is just all degenerate behaviour. There's smoking, there's snorting, there's editing creepy videos of his sister, there's lying about being a Muslim.
Shitting
yourself, and now gambling money so you don't have to see your girlfriend.
He only had a tenner.
This is such a bad reflection on my actual fan base. They're the worst sorts of people, honestly.
This is the
average behaviour of It's absolutely.
I'm going to be honest, I think it's pretty impressive. The one thing you can't say about your fan base is that they're boring.
No, certainly not boring. So I guess we'll see you soon for another episode of Questionable. I'll cook up another banger question to ask you guys, and you can let me know what you think. Next up is our consumer advice segment. This is out of packet, and that is not a thinly veiled drug pun. Every week, my producer Aidan orders me a certain product out of a catalogue, and I review it after seeing it for the first time. So what have you got for me this time?
I want to start up by saying that I actually think this is a very, very thoughtful gift, and potentially one to consider for like Father's Day and stuff coming up.
Okay.
There you go.
So I've got a little cardboard box.
Take a look at that.
I'm sorry, I've just read the title of this. This is everything you need to have a posh wank. It says this is a luxury kit for the ultimate solo pleasure experience.
So it comes with a rubber glove that should be golden.
Golden rubber glove.
A sachet of lube.
A
condom.
And
then just like a little luxury wet wipe.
Yeah, the sort of thing they hand out at the end of a curry. A little wet wipe as well.
Really is. What's a brand of condom?
The brand of condom is Passante.
That is a fucking Freshers Fair classic.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never used these before. Like, call me traditional. I'm a brand loyal guy. Once I get something, I tend to not stray away. I'm a Durex man.
I thought you were about to say call me traditional. I don't fucking use them.
Well.
I would argue though, like, see these Passante ones, they hand them out at Freshers Fair and they're giving you like 100. You're probably more at risk of a pregnancy scare using one of them than you are without. So
a substandard condom by your expert evaluation 100%. There. Anyway, I'm gonna I was gonna say I'm gonna try it on. I'm not gonna try it on. I'm gonna try and get in the mindset of what it would be like to use it, but not actually. I'm not actually gonna have a tuggy in the studio.
Would you be? I know a lot of people will claim.
Sorry?
You know what? I'll go to this camera. It's black screen for them. They don't know what's going on.
Right, so I've got my glove, as you can see there. I guess the towel that's for the wipe clean at the end.
It is, yes.
Even though you wouldn't. Oh, you would need it because of the lube.
Yeah.
I didn't think
they've covered all bases with this.
Yeah. So, let's take a look at this.
Have you ever had a posh wank?
I think everybody's had a posh wank.
I actually don't think I have, you know.
You never had a posh wank?
I might need to borrow that.
Do you know Obama had a posh wank in the Oval Office?
That doesn't surprise me, but I didn't know that until this.
It's a stressful job, but you need to bash one out every now and again.
But surely the release of just fucking letting it go free is satisfying. And if you're in the Oval Office, you're the president, you can do whatever the fuck you want, and some prick will clean it up.
Imagine like a long night of like having to watch drone strikes and stuff.
Yeah. If I was a president and I was living and fucking chilling out in the White House, I would be coming everywhere. I wouldn't be thinking like stick a condom on and clean it up. There'd be
vote
everywhere.
For Aidan Rafferty 2024.
That is my presidential slogan.
Yeah.
I will come everywhere.
Spunk for all and all for spunk. Yeah. This is, I mean, how much did this cost you?
$5.49.
It's not very cost effective, is it? But Johnnies are expensive though, I will say that. And yeah, it comes with, I mean, have you ever used a sachet of lube?
I didn't know they existed, to be honest. Up until today, I thought it was strictly like ketchup.
I mean, call me traditional, I'm a spit man.
Yeah.
If I'm totally honest.
Yeah. It's a lot more effective.
It's vegan as well.
Oh, fuck.
So if you're bashing any sort of...
So if you're a nerd...
If you're a member of the Blue Hair Brigade or you like work for Just Stop Oil, you can also have this. I would say as a product, it's good. At that price, it's slightly expensive. I will just test the lemon scented wet wipe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that brings me back, man. That's like going on a flight and they bring out the peanuts and like the drink that's way too small.
The first whiff of it.
Yeah, it's like give you a little hand towel after the meal.
Let me have a...
You want to have a freshen up? Do you want to have a feel of the condom while you're at it?
Maybe.
Maybe get the glove on.
It is quite refreshing. Although
Yeah.
it just reminds me of the smell of your mum cleaning. You know, like the lemon scented
Wow.
floor wipes.
I'm glad that sentence ended the way it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we had been talking about the condoms or the lube, that would have been a bit more suspect.
Yeah. It's getting hot in here. Anyway, so expert Rufus Rice consumer advice there. The luxury posh wank kit on Amazon is I would say that would give you the ultimate solo experience. But probably not worth it at this price point. That's my ultimate verdict. And if anyone wants this, maybe you email Cal Freezy at the Fast Studios and then you can...
On screen here.
Yeah, and because that's the official email for this podcast, and you can have this. We'll send it to you. And now, of course, as always, we move on to the games segment, Gamey Schumer, where today we're playing a little thing I've designed, a new game I like to call Who Can Name the Biggest Number.
Ooh.
So the difference with this one is it's not like a 1, 2, 3 go. It's not a rush thing. This is a turn-based game.
Right, okay.
So do you want to go first? I'll let you go first.
Yeah, that sounds fair enough.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so on 3, just name the biggest number that you can think of. 1, 2, 3.
7,046.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
That's an impressive first move. Beginners often don't like get into that sort of level straight away. So it's good that you managed to grasp that. Obviously, I've been playing a lot of this with my family over the weekend. Have to say, find myself a little bit of a champion. So 7,400 and... What was your number?
6, I think.
You already can't remember your own number.
Or 12.
Okay, right. I'm going to try and name a bigger number.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. 8,104.
Fucking hell.
Let's go. The undefeated champion stays. Nobody can get on my level. I'm unbeatable
It's
at who can name the biggest number.
It's like the person going second has an advantage or something. It's so mad.
Yeah, I don't know. I still won though. Yeah. I feel like it's a fair game. We both get one chance
Yeah.
to name it. Anyway, you've lost, which means you have to do this week's punishment, which we've decided. I'll just go and get it quickly. You've got to scran an onion.
So are we doing skin on, skin off? What do you think?
I think the people want skin on. People, if you're watching this, I know you're agreeing with me. Skin on is
That's what the people want.
what the people want.
Throw me the onion.
I'll allow you to choose your own onion if you like, or I'll choose one for you.
You know what? Let me put my hand in and do like a lucky dip.
do like a lucky dip.
Yeah.
Oh, they reek. There we go.
This one's fucking black.
That's a minging onion.
So keeping the skin on.
Skin on, and I want you to properly commit a proper apple bite here.
This is fucking rank. Okay.
Yeah, get in there. Oh, mate. That is a proper bite. What flavours are you getting?
Onion.
Are you tearing up? Because I am. I think this is hilarious.
Oh, fuck me. There's a few things in life I don't mind raw, but onions aren't one of them.
Yeah, unlike sex, it's not improved by raw. I quite like raw onions, you know.
I don't.
You're really suffering now.
I'm starting to tear up. I'm meant to be swallowing this thing.
Well, I think it's up to you. I mean, spit or swallow is really up to your discretion, really. And it's gone straight onto the script. I have to say, I really respect the effort.
I haven't cried this much since fucking Iron Man died. It's so painful in your fucking eyes and throat.
You look like my sister after my mum caught her vaping. It's so embarrassing.
A vape would be a nice fucking forfeit. Not eating a raw onion. That is a bite and
Okay,
half, by the way.
how about, honestly, that is a serious commitment. I really respect
I
that.
tried to get it down, but
I'm going to try a bit.
the climate of chill.
I won't do a bite as big as you, but I will have just a bit. Just for a laugh.
Let me see what sort of bite are you going for there. Get the jaws round it. Get a good bite.
No, mate, I can't take a bite like that. You didn't do nearly as much cinnamon as I did.
That's true. Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? Look at the vibrations in his fucking skull. Now get it out. Chew it for a second. Let it marinate. Let it fucking linger in there. I suffered.
I feel like a rabbit, mate.
You know what might help it go down? A bit of cinnamon.
No cinnamon. No, I can't hold that in any longer.
The taste is still in my mouth.
I know. You know what the feeling of eating an onion is like. My eyes are starting to water as well.
Yeah.
You know what the?
Oh, I touched my eyes with it.
Oh no, it's contaminated.
It actually wasn't bad for a second there. Then I fucking stuck my oniony fingers into my eyeball.
So, if any of you have never eaten an onion at home, what it feels like is sitting on a massive secret and being around all your friends, but you're not allowed to tell it, and you just can't wait to get it out.
And we actually have a 6-pack with us, or is it?
Yeah, we've actually got 7 more onions left over. We've only consumed 1, really. So if you want 7 onions, email Galfreezing. Oh, sorry. Something's coming in. I'm having a call. Coming down the line here. Oh, it's Wayne. Yep. Thank you. Thanks for that. And now for a Radio Rufus exclusive. Breaking news. Hot and fresh off the presses. It's today's news. Today, of course, being the 5th of October, 1962. And I've just had something through from our music correspondent, Wayne Tuney. A Liverpool 4-piece named The Beatles. That's just a shit pun, isn't it? The Beatles with an A. Have released their debut single this week. It's called Love Me Do, and it has peaked at number 17. I have to say, I think it's absolutely crap. It's this sort of thing they're calling rock and roll that's coming around these days. And I have to say, I don't think this sort of stuff, I think it's the downfall of society as we know it.
Yeah, I could see them having maybe a hit or two, but it won't be sustainable.
It's musical diarrhea.
Yeah, the Beatles will be a flash in the pan. They won't last.
They're not going to get anywhere. It will never match up to the jazz and pop standards that we knew. Classics like Rule Britannia. You could never beat something like that.
We need to bring back doo-wop. Fuck this rock and roll shit.
Doo-wop, smooth jazz, the great American songbook. These Beatles are ruining music as we know it.
They really are.
I miss the days of the Ken Snake Hips Johnson band and the Bonzo Dog Doodah band and the Nutty Squirrels. That's the music I knew growing up.
That sounds like a fucking sex position.
That's
Nutty Squirrel.
That's what I want to hear, not these talentless scousers. And they're all over the radio.
Yeah.
They're all over the radio at the moment. Everybody, it's a huge glaze fest for the Beatles. They're never going to get anywhere.
If I wanted to watch a group of scruffy scousers miss the ball this bad, I'd tune into an Everton match.
That is a good one. Also, Love Me Do. I mean, meaningless waffle. More like Love Me Don't. It's total shit. And the Beatles, if you're watching this, you're never going to get anywhere. I'd advise you to pack it all in and work at Woolworths or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woolworths it's thriving. Woolworths is here to stay. The Beatles aren't.
Woolworths is going to be around for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's one of the most profitable businesses in our nation.
It is it's only going up and up.
I can't imagine anything bad ever happening to Woolworths. It's such a staple of our society.
Or the wives of the Beatles.
Or the wives of the Beatles. Yeah.
They're all unsafe fans.
I wasn't aware they had wives, but it's good to know that they're being well treated and nothing bad is ever going to happen to any of them ever.
They're all about peace and love. These
Especially
guys.
John's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace and love until he comes home and the dinner's not ready. Then it's a fucking different story.
And also, all their music is going to be shit and no one's going to remember it.
Yeah, that's the bottom line, really.
That's the bottom line. So if you're the Beatles watching this, time to find a new job. And now we move on to the musical Serenade. And I've been inspired this week by the tragic tale of the sinking of the Titanic, which happened about 50 years ago. Now, I've always wondered what it would be like from the perspective of a passenger on the ship. I hope they make a film about it at some point. But anyway, I've been inspired, so here's my tribute. This is if Riptide by Vance Joy was from the perspective of someone on the Titanic. I think a holiday would serve me well. I booked a cruise to NYC in April 1912. Oh, nothing sounds quite as romantic as a handy from a stewardess in the North Atlantic. Oh, I'm going on the Titanic. God bless, brought my room with a forged check. Burning suits on the port deck. Snuck into first and scran some quail. A redhead, draw her nude on the bedspread. Pressed against the headrest of some rich bloke's ancient whip. I could get used to this sailing thing. I asked the crew to let me drive it after 14 gins. Oh, it's just like riding a bike. Keep it pointing straight ahead and watch out for the ice. Oh, we'll never sink. I heard someone shout about an iceberg, something like making a right turn. I don't recall, I was far too drunk. My eyes blurred, someone asked for my lighter. Fancied a pint of cider, abandoned the wheel cause I'd had enough. I passed out but I was woken up by a pagan yapping about hitting a bird. We were sinking, so I tried the raft. But for some reason, it's only women and children first. I wanted to float gently on a door, but I lost a fight for it to that same redhead from before. Oh, big ship sunk in the mid-Atlantic. Some idiot had crashed it into a massive block of ice. It's gigantic, how can you sink the Titanic? Whoever did was a half-wit. What a tragic loss of life. 8 out of 10. We'll take that. Rest in peace to all those people, by the way. I hope you feel tributed. Thank you for tuning in once again to Radio Rufus. As you know, it's been another rollicking, gobsmacking, fandangling week of quality news, sports, games, music. We really do everything here. Men of culture, men of class, scholars, polyglots. We really have it all. So tune in again and we'll bring you some more bants next time.